Rockstar and Grand Theft Auto Online have done a pretty good job of adding new properties for our characters to own in-game. They haven't done an amazing job with the variety, but there has been at least some improvement. We started the game out with very tiny homes and apartments. We added, penthouse apartments and stilt houses and yachts. And then it moved on to more business-style properties like facilities, smugglers run hangars, bunkers, CEO offices with office garages. So there has been a lot of different places where our characters can own. But that seems to have stopped, and Rockstar haven't seemed to have innovated really past that since about a year and a half ago. And I say that in the sense of they haven't added any recreational places to live, but they also haven't given us the ability to have more space too. And this one is the thing that I don't understand, because Rockstar adds so much content to online with every update in terms of vehicles, things we need to store, yet they don't add more places for us to store these vehicles, which is something I don't understand. So I saw this post on the GTA forum site by Mach1Bud, and it kind of got me thinking. He said this: "I honestly don't expect any more garage space, but I didn't expect it with Doomsday either. Mansions do indeed seem like a logical place for a consolidated business hub to be located, though." So we're going to be talking about that. Let's talk about his first statement first. He says, "I don't expect any more garage space, but I didn't expect it with the Doomsday heist either." This one is really confusing to me, and I don't know why Rockstar is so uncomfortable adding more places for us to store our vehicles, because I don't know about you guys, but right now on my main account, when I want to add a new vehicle into the game, I have to delete another one. I have all my garage spaces full. I have 3 full levels of the office garage. I have every single 10-car apartment. I have the facility, which can't store, all that many vehicles. I think it's like 6 or 7. I try and put all my bikes in the biker clubhouse so that I can put more cars in more places, but I am out of space. And I know I'm not the only one who has this problem, because I'm a car guy a little bit, but I'm not like a super collector. I know there are super collectors out there that like piling cars into garages, and they are definitely in the same situation. So it's kind of weird why Rockstar hasn't decided to add more garage space. So I think there's 2 reasons why Rockstar don't want to do this. I think the first one could be a design or technical limitation. So maybe because Grand Theft Auto Online was originally developed for the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. At its core, that's what the game was made for. Maybe because it's made for that, there is some sort of technical limitation in allowing us to store more vehicles than that. And that could be a thing, but at the same rate, that doesn't prevent people from having all these different vehicles out in free mode. So what's the difference if they're locked in some sort of garage? I really don't understand. The next thing could be a design limitation, although I don't think that's the case, because we've seen Rockstar add different facilities and different buildings into the game. They just haven't added more vehicle storage. Now, one thing that's pretty interesting to me is that Rockstar was eventually going to make a different design of a garage. So this was supposed to be added in the High Life update, which was a DLC in 2014. And it was a garage that was sort of in the shape of what you see in superhero movies like Iron Man's garage. It wasn't necessarily a box. It was really long. The elevator was in the center. I actually have some gameplay footage of that, which I'll show you guys on the screen right now. You can actually mod this into your game. So we've seen Rockstar try and go out and present different designs for vehicle storage, but we've never seen anything like that implemented. Probably the most that we've ever gotten is the office garages with the sort of templates we can choose for the various floors. Now, another thing I've thought of is maybe the people making Grand Theft Auto, the designers of this game, don't want it to be all about collecting vehicles. But that kind of seems ironic because the game is Grand Theft Auto, and the big part about every DLC is the cars. They know that, we know that. So if it's not about collecting vehicles, well, what is Grand Theft Auto Online? So I don't think that makes sense. And the last thing I think it could be is maybe some sort of memory cap. And that kind of goes to the technical limitation I was talking about earlier. Maybe there's a limit for how many player-stored vehicles there could be. But that doesn't make sense either. It just they would hardly take up any space in the garage. It's not like they would put that much more stress on Grand Theft Auto Online. Now, the last time Rockstar has added a new garage into the game, it was actually back in late 2016. It was in the Bikers update when, during one of the drip feeding weeks, Rockstar introduced the 6th purchasable property into the game. And a lot of people really rejoiced at that because in the Bikers update, we got a new property, the MC Clubhouse, that could store bikes, but we also wanted a place to store some new vehicles. And they added that with, of course, a new apartment or a new place you could buy so we could get 10 more cars to be stored. And this was great. And the expectation was that maybe Rockstar was going to do this every single DLC. I mean, they're adding an average of over 10 vehicles per update. I would say well over that. So wouldn't it make sense for them to add at least the ability to buy 10 more vehicles per update, or at least 10 more vehicle slots to store them per update? Logically, that would make sense, but they've never done that. So it almost begs the question, is Rockstar waiting for a new property to be added into the game, like the facility, to add a massive vehicle storage element? And that's where I want to talk about the second thing Mach1 Bud said. And he said, mansions do seem like a logical place for a consolidated business hub to be located. So in case you don't know, I'm sure you do, the next update, there's supposed to be a feature that has the consolidation of all of our businesses. Now, you guys know every single one of the businesses in game take place in some sort of property. So the finance and felony stuff, import-export stuff takes place in the office. The smugglers run stuff takes place in a hangar. The gun running stuff takes place in a bunker. So with the consolidation of all of our business, how is that going to work? Because finance and felony stuff is really different than gun running stuff. Import-export stuff is really different than the smugglers run stuff. So what is going to be the main hub of operations? Mach1 Bud says a mansion would seem like the logical place to have all of that consolidated at. And if that's the case, maybe, just maybe, that's when Rockstar could potentially add more garage space. Now, if you guys have seen any of the mansions in game, like if you just drive or fly around Vinewood or whatever the case is, you'll see a lot of the mansions. They're really big. They're really beautiful. All of them, for the most part, have garages very similar to these stilt homes. However, that's just the exterior. Maybe Rockstar could add better and more unique vehicle storage. I've always wanted them to go bigger and better than the 10-car garages. We saw that in the office garages, and those have 20 per floor. So that's what I'm thinking the max is still going to be. I wouldn't see Rockstar going over 20, but wouldn't it be awesome to see a mansion with a 20-car garage in it? That would be so cool. Now, I could go on and on about some of the features I would like to see, but let's stick with the garages for a little bit. I'd like to see them customizable to a degree, maybe like the color scheme, the lighting, the floor graphics, stuff we saw in the Smugglers Run hangars in the Doomsday Heist facility. All of that is really cool and just adds a nice little touch and flair to the mansions themselves, or in this case, the garages themselves. Now, the reason I say mansions is because the reason I agree with mansions is it is kind of the final frontier as far as properties go, at least visible ones in the game. Like, yes, they added the mansions, but that was underground. Yes, they added facilities, that was underground. Mansions and big houses are pretty much like the last property Rockstar could introduce in the game that would make sense. So if they don't do mansions, what I could see them doing is maybe using an existing property. So something like the facility, something like the CEO office. I think the CEO office would make the most sense, especially if we were going to get more garage storage because, and I don't know why Rockstar haven't done this already, they could simply just add another floor to the office garage. Like, how hard would that be? You can't even see all 3 floors at the same time, so it's not like it really adds anything to the game. You would just get 20 more slots, and you could just choose to go on 1, 2, or 3, or 4 floors instead of the 3 that we have available now. So that's another thing I could see Rockstar doing, implementing existing garages that we already have in the game, and the office garage would be by far the easiest. Now, the only thing that has me a little bit worried about mansions, especially for the next update, is it doesn't seem like a logical DLC for Rockstar to add that. Pretty much every new big property that Rockstar has added into the game has always come out in a December winter update. So let's go back to 2015. Executives and Other Criminals. Rockstar added Yachts, one of the biggest properties we have. They also added the Penthouse Apartments, and they also added the Stilt Homes. So that's 3 big properties in one right there. If we fast forward a little bit further to Import-Export, that's when they added the office garages. That was a huge addition to the CEO offices. So that was something massive right there. Flash forward to last year, 2017, even though this was directly connected to a business, it still had vehicle storage, unlike a bunker. And that was the facilities. The facilities were a massive new property, even if they were underground and even if they were connected to the heist and the business. So Typically, Rockstar add big properties in the December updates. Now, that's not to say we haven't seen big properties in the summer updates, because we have. Go back to Finance and Felony, that's when we got the CEO offices. Go back to Gun Running, we got the bunkers. So you could argue for each one. And honestly, I don't care when it would come out. I would just be excited for it to be added into the game, that's for sure. So anyways, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Let me know what you think Rockstar is going to do in terms of new garage space and mansions being added in online. Do you think any of the technical limitations or design limitations could have an impact on this? I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. If you did go on to enjoy this video though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.